Alright, wanted to do a video here on NIO. So the last video that I did on NIO was about 10 or 11 days ago. And since then, the stock is up almost 50%, which is crazy. 50% in 10 days, 11 days. That's just unheard of. A lot of this is coming from positive news about funding from Guangzhou, I believe is how you pronounce it, which is a Chinese um, automobile company that has a lot of subsidiaries, and basically stating that I guess the speculation was $1 billion in funding potentially to go to NIO, and that sparked a 14% rally. And then also there was an asset management firm saying that it had a 13% stake in NIO, and that also helped to drive the price up. That specific asset firm, Bailey Gilbert, or Guilford, I think is what it was called, is managing about $250 billion worth of assets. So relatively decent sized firm, and a lot of this news is just helping to push the price up and up and up. So here on the hourly chart, you can see just over the course of the past 20 days, we're seeing the price move from $2.07 a share up to $5.20 a share. Just a tremendous move here. But again, what is it that we are looking at? We're looking forward. Where is the stock going to move going forward? Now, if we look at the overall picture, we still have some work to do, as we're still trading below the initial IPO price, right? And it's still a good little ways. We want to get up there. It's still about a 15% move, which the way that we're moving at the moment seems like it could be tomorrow or by the end of the week. But I don't necessarily think that it is smart to put all your eggs in one basket and hope that this thing rockets up to $6 by the end of the week. With the momentum that it has, it very well could. With these quick moving stocks, that are traded at a pretty low price, this could shoot up a good 16% over the course of the rest of the week. But on the flip side, you have to look at your risk reward. Are you wanting to just throw your money out there and cross your fingers and think, well, I'm not really going to do any sort of analysis? It's been running up for multiple sessions in a row now. What are the odds that I get stuck with a dud? Well, you never know until it actually happens. You never feel it until it actually happens. You could have tossed your money in here and had been up a whole lot of money, and then it just came soaring right back down, and you sold out either for a tiny profit or even a loss just to miss out on these huge gains here of 60%. So we could be looking at a situation like that as we near this resistance around $5.90 to $6. We could be starting to see people say, okay, I want to go ahead and lock in profits. Maybe I'm not going to take it all off the table, but I'm going to lock in some profits and just take a little bit off the table. So I made a little bit of money, and I'm just going to speculate and kind of see what it's going to do as we approach this $6 price point. If it keeps going through, great, I'm still making money. If it starts to turn down, I'm just going to take the rest out. That might be a mindset that somebody has. Surely that's what I would have. If I was playing NIO at this point in time. And that would be my preferred scenario, just with how extended we are. You can even see on the daily here, we are really starting to get into that overbought region here on NIO. We're sitting around 80 on the RSI, and if you were looking at the PPO here on the weekly, you can see that we're pretty much straight up, which is a good sign, that we're continuing to move up. But that could start to level off and start to move down for a little bit of a more long-term pullback, say for a couple weeks or so, as the price kind of consolidates and takes a breather after all of this positive news before maybe we run back up over that $6 price point. These are just things that I would think of and pay attention to if I was wanting to get in. And I really do think that NIO is a good investment for the long term. Maybe not a large size of your portfolio, but if you do want to play around and hold it as an interesting stock. I do think that it holds a good amount of value, but it can get pumped, and I think that this is a situation of that. We had some pretty steady growth, which when you look at it percentage-wise was still really healthy, dating back to late September up until the end of the year. It was up about 100%, down from from $1.16 up here around $2.50. Right, but now the spark that we've seen over the course of this past month has been a little bit more erratic, a lot of news driving it, and I just don't know if it'll necessarily sustain for a long period of time before seeing a pullback. So it's just something to keep in mind. Looking forward, again, I do think that 590 mark is going to be a resistance, but we could see this pullback more in the short term prior to getting to that level, so don't think that it's just going to go straight to it. When we're looking at levels that it could pull back down to, let's go ahead and look at the hourly. So right here, so I'm going to go ahead and mark a major one being right in here around 450. Or even the mid 440s. As you can see, it acted as a top a couple of times. More recently, just last Wednesday. It also acted as a support pre-market this morning before we saw this nice little 50-cent rise in the price here in NIO today. So to see it pull back down to that level, I would not be too shocked if we were to break down past that point. Let's look down here around the $4 increment. Remember, again, on these penny stocks, it's usually these 50-cent increments, so the whole dollar mark, and then the, say, 450, 350, whatever. It's going to be a support and resistance just mentally. So let's look at those. Now, if we start to break down through those, again, I think that'll really just show that this was more of a pump and didn't really have a whole lot of legs behind it. But, I don't necessarily think that is entirely the case. I do think this is a little bit of a pump. People want to catch in on a little bit of this rally. So we will see a pullback. When, I'm not 100% sure. But here are a couple levels below that. You could say down here in the low threes. I think pullback there, maybe not all that possible currently, but don't want to count it out. So hopefully this video helped, maybe gave you a little bit of insight, kind of reeled you in a little bit if you were one of those people who was just kind of flinging money in, hoping this was going to continue up and up. I will say, if you lose money, that is good. If you are using that strategy, if you're just throwing money in, you're making a whole lot of money, you will end up losing a lot of it if you continue that strategy. So it's better off to learn in the early stages if you're trading with a little bit of money, rather than in the later stages when you have a bigger portfolio and you have more to lose. So hopefully this video helps you guys out a little bit. Leave a like or a comment how I can make these videos better, or something that you liked about it. So thank you guys for watching.